get a connection. Namaste and hi. I am going hiking with Jeff. I'm not sure if I have a connection here or not. So let's see. Oh yeah, here we go, guys. Hello, 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 hello. So beautiful here, guys. So what I wanted to tell you is that sometimes we don't realize when we're doing our daily task and we are running our normal everyday things, we don't know how stressed our body is. We just go, and it's in a routine. I'm not going to let Jeff talk, guys, because once I allow Jeff, would you like to say hi?
No, what were you going to say once you allow me to talk? It's already happened. I'm taking over.
He's taking over, so I'm not going to let him talk.
It's like the battle between Sudi and I.
It's the battle between Jeff and I. That's what it is. Yeah, so what I was saying is that we don't realize we went off ramp. We don't realize how much stress our bodies are under until we take a break and we go somewhere, like where I am right now. You guys all know that I'm here to check out the place to see if this is a suitable place for me to do the retreat. And it's awesome. So, last night I was looking at the sky and I told Jeff, I said, take a look at the skies. It was shining like a diamond, like so many stars, so bright. You never see that in LA. The air is very fresh and clean. But anyhow, so I slept a lot last night, and this morning I told my body, relax. You don't have to be a robot. Jump out of the bed and get going and going and going. So, yeah, hold on 1 second, Jeff. So basically, we allow, once our body realizes that doesn't have to be a robot and work robotically, and whether you have the energy or you don't have the energy, just keep pushing it, the body starts to relax. But oftentimes, we have to tell the body, because I told you the body after a while becomes a second mind. We have to also remind the body to relax. Give it more attention and love and permission. Oops! Here comes.
So what Sudi's really trying to say is, don't move to Los Angeles. That's what she's trying to say. Because when you live in Los Angeles, you live a life of a higher pace and stress and lots of competition just to stay alive. When you come up here, it's just chill. Everybody's chill.
Well, don't go away, Jeff. Don't go away. Come back here, because I want you to tell them, when you were driving yesterday, you said even the way they drive at the Bay Area is much more relaxed than LA. I want you to...
Certainly. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, to me, the way people drive is a reflection of how they behave and how they treat other people. And in Los Angeles, people they'll ride up on your rear, and then the moment you move, it's not like they go a lot faster. They don't go faster. They just don't want you in their way. And they'll cut you off and all sorts of stuff. And the reason why people drive that way is because people who come to LA to get ahead with their career, and it doesn't matter what the career is, often adopt a very toxic personality of, who are you? You're either here to help me or you're in my way. And it's a very narcissistic mentality that people adopt. And they don't have that mentality until they get to LA. You're either in my way or you're going to help me on my path. It's very self-centered, and people drive that way. Where up in the Bay, people move to the Bay because they genuinely love to live in the Bay. And when you pick somewhere to live because you genuinely love to live there, you want to nurture your community. You are going to behave better. You're going to be kinder to your neighbors. You're going to be kinder to strangers because you don't want your neighbors being rude to you.
Yeah.
So this is very much a function of where you live. In LA, in New York, I hear is even worse. But when you're in LA and New York, people don't care who you are. You're just in the way. Unless you're here to help me, you're in the way. Nobody nurtures community. They're not as kind to strangers. So when you live in LA as long as we have, which is I've been there 20 years, obviously you meet people and you find a way to be cordial with each other and kind with each other. But it's nothing compared to when I was here yesterday. I got into 3 long conversations with 3 complete strangers because everybody just wants to be friendly and talk and get to know each other. It doesn't mean we're going to exchange phone numbers and keep in touch.
By the way, guys, 2 of them were Russians that he said they hardly spoke any English.
That's right. I talked to both of these Russians with a translator app because they couldn't speak enough English. So I'm literally just typing stuff
And
into
the
my app.
third one is from Austria.
Yeah, but he spoke enough English that we could talk, you know? So that's just how it goes. And they were patient enough that we could sit there and use the app and talk to each other. And again, we're not exchanging phone numbers. We're not going to keep in touch. We're just being friendly with each other because people are just friendly with each other. That's amazing.
Yeah. So don't go away because I want to cover something else. So yesterday when I watched Jeff eating, I said to him, I said, Jeff, you might want to slow down. Come on, don't go away because you need to add in here. And I said to him, I said, oftentimes when I watch people eat, just the fast movements and the way their body language and the way they're eating, it stresses me out. Me, Sudguru, gets stressed out and I have to send energy to calm them down. So I said to him, I said, now, he said, he said, yeah, Deepak said that too. It's not so much fussing about what it is that we're eating, is the state that you're in. If you're calm and enjoying and you're just in ecstasy, you can eat rock and your gut would say, thank you, I'm going to break it down.
Did you hear that? That's the new diet trend. Rock.
So
That's what she's saying. No, but isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? What he was saying was that if you are in a super heightened emotional state, heightened in a positive way, not heightened like you're excited, but heightened positivity, you can consume things that are toxic to your body and you will convert them into nutrition. And if you're in a very toxic state, you're in a very depressed, anxious, negative state, angry state, you could take nutrition, food that's nutritious, and convert it into toxins for your body. That said, you know, I tend to not skirt the line, but I tend to ride the line of spirituality, metaphysics, and physical matter. So,
can you hold the phone?
Can I hold the phone?
Yes, you can hold the phone.
So, that's terrible.
Get rid of this.
Don't throw it away. I need it.
I'm not throwing it away.
All right.
Go ahead.
So the idea is, you know, I tend to ride the line of metaphysics and physics as well. So I like physical matter. I like science. And I'm a big fan of doing, you know, blood testing to see what you might be allergic to, what you might be intolerant to. So I get that if you were super powerful, if you were a super powerful Jedi with metaphysical matter, then you could, you know, meditate your way to health and nutrition. And, you know, if you are really intent on doing that, awesome. But I don't want to leave everybody behind that isn't going to become some Jedi warrior. So, you know, I'm a fan of science. I'm a fan of doing the blood test, finding what it is that you might be allergic to, what your body might be intolerant to, and cutting the stuff that you're intolerant to out. Obviously, cutting whatever you're allergic to, your body has a reaction to, out, and making sure you eat things that you don't have a reaction to. Let your body heal so you're not fighting an uphill battle. Then, once your body's in a healthier state, then adopt a mentality of, okay, I want to try to go on this path of metaphysics. So, you know, think about how we're taught when we're kids to give thanks. Say a prayer and give thanks for your meal. Admittedly, I don't really do that. I always saw it as some religious phenomenon. And I thought, well, if I'm not participating in such a religion, why would I do the ritual? But after listening to Deepak Chopra, because often religion isn't as abstract as it's often made to be. Well, you give thanks because, you need to communicate with God. That's not often what some of the instruction of religion is. Some of the instruction of religion is very practical ways to live and kind of gets into metaphysics. And so you might think, well, maybe the reason why everybody's told to give thanks before they eat their food isn't some sort of conversation with God. It's because they realized that if they gave thanks and put their body and mind into a positive, grateful state, that food that they ate was more nutritious and nurturing to their body than if they didn't do that. And I'm not saying that that's the truth, but that's how my brain processes that kind of information. I think, okay, well, maybe if I just adopted giving thanks more often, like every time I eat, and became a bit more disciplined and religious, and I'll take the pun, I was a bit more religious about giving thanks, perhaps the food I ate would be more nutritious, I would have less digestion issues and an overall healthier body. Something to think about, something to do,
Yeah, so basically what he's saying about Deepak Chopra, I said it 25 years ago in my stress CD and DVD. I said, make sure when you're eating, you're in a calm state. Do not eat if you're stressed out, because the food that you're eating while you're stressed out is just going to become poisonous. So relax. You never ever eat when you're stressed out. Calm down yourself, take a deep breath, take a shower, or do something. Be mindful of relaxing yourself before you eat it. So that didn't come from Deepak, because I talked about it many, many years ago. But anyway, what you guys need to know right now is that, okay, what state am I in all the time? What am I is not so much what am I putting in my body, but is more like the state. So how can we constantly be joyful and be happy and don't get this projection, this movie? I see your
it would bring me a lot of joy? Not holding this phone anymore. You know it would bring me a lot of joy? Having a hat. I almost packed a hat and I didn't pack a hat.
There we go. And I said to him, they should call me the Hat Lady, because I don't walk outside the house.
I'm going to call her the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, Mad Hatter. And what did you say it was the mixture of bear and...
Bear and deer.
Oh, yeah,
what happens if you combine a bear and a deer? You get a beer.
And Jeff has been an expert on it. Would you like to tell them a little bit about your sensitive blood testing?
The sensitive, you mean on the panel, the IgG panel?
No. I mean, what you were doing, you were saying yesterday, my palates are so sensitive.
Yeah, I worked in the industry for a long time. I worked in the industry for a total of 15 years, but I worked for a distributor for 9, for a wine distributor, the alcohol industry. And, I got a professional palate through tasting hundreds, if not thousands, of wines over that time. Beer was my thing. I was a beer expert. I actually became a certified beer judge. My thing now is coffee. I'm a total geek on coffee. I don't really drink much alcohol, hardly ever. So my thing now is coffee, where that's why when Sudi's always talking about my coffee, that might give a little bit of a background context, is I came from the alcohol industry where I had a professional palate. I had a professional wine palate, a certified professional beer palate, and got into coffee, and I'm just kind of bringing that professional palate to that, along with, I got to give a shout out to Doug Martin, who's the owner of Forge Coffee. He roasts all the coffee beans that I buy and I'm always drinking in all of our videos. So Doug taught me everything I knew, which, as a side lesson, you'll often hear like coaches tell you, find somebody who's done something that you want to do and mentor, mentee under them. Doug's a master. And the reason why I make really good coffee is because the only way I ever learned how to brew coffee is from this master. I never learned it any other way. So when people come over to my place, they go, man, this is like the best coffee ever. And it's like, well, I learned from a master. See what happens when you learn from masters?
I know.
I need to hang around somebody besides Sudi.
So, hey, before you forget, because I know Jeff doesn't remember this, guys. Can you hear us well? Because there is some wind going around here. Can you guys hear us well? But I know he doesn't remember it, but while we were driving here, it was about 8 or 9 hours drive, and Jeff, being such a strong speaker, he spoke all the way till here. And there was something that I said, make sure you remember it, because I want you to share that with my followers. Do you remember what it was, Jeff?
Yeah, but you want to do that now or another time?
Do it right now. Put it out there before we go continue on our
Okay,
walk.
so 2 things. Number 1 is, one day I asked myself what my superpower was, and I meditated. And by meditating, I don't mean I sat in a cross-legged position and with my eyes closed. I just mean I meditated, which is the translation is to think on, to think about. So I just kind of went through life every day thinking about this question, what is my superpower? And no kidding, the answer I got was to talk. And I thought, okay, wow, really? I can talk. But rather than make myself wrong, I went with it. And that's the truth. I can talk 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, really.
Lucky me,
Yeah,
guys.
lucky her.
Lucky
yeah,
me.
I can just wear somebody out like Sudi. And then and yesterday, here, I gotta say this because it's funny. So yesterday we were talking about this woman that I'm sort of kind of talking to, and believe it or not, she can talk more than I can.
Woo!
That's
How is that possible, guys? Somebody
that's what
talks
see
more
that's
than Jeff?
that's the reason why I'm attracted to her. That's the only reason I'm attracted to her, because I'm like, somebody that's not going to get worn out. In fact, she might wear me out. Like, oh my god, she and I could talk forever and just alienate people forever. And no, the thing that I said was that while I have learned...
Pay attention to this part, guys, because that was a key that I wanted him to share with you guys.
While I have learned to be more authentic, more transparent with my being, like who I communicate myself to be with other people, how I go through life, is my talking was a defense. So when I would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, it's because this is what she wanted me to remember, which is easy to remember because I live it every day, is I talk so much that I can control I can control the paradigm, I can control the perspective, I can control what you know of me, how you see me, and how you perceive me to be. So it's I'm not a manipulative person, but all of us use survival and coping mechanisms to manipulate our environment so that we can win and survive and thrive. So that was my way, is through talking I can be, people would think, oh, I know Jeff, and I'd be like, you don't actually know me. You just know, because I talk so much, you've put together a picture of me. That's not necessarily who I am. So that's something to keep in mind.
And there was another point that you said, this is a reaction when you don't really want other people to know who you are. You talk so much just to give out the information
Absolutely.
that you want them to have from you and to know you that way. But he said, nobody really knows who we are. That was
right.
the key point. So if you happen to have a dear friend like Jeff that constantly talk, just say, what are you hiding, Jeff? What is it that you don't want me to know?
I wouldn't suggest asking anybody, what are you hiding? Because that's a trigger for them to get defensive. But I definitely would suggest that, if somebody's talking a lot, pay attention and really think like, am I getting to truly know who they are? Are they really revealing things that are important? Or are they just painting a picture that maybe doesn't really matter? And if you want to cut through all that, because I've been thinking about that, with this woman that I've been kind of talking to, the last time I was with her, I told her, I said, you and I both talk a lot. And I said, one of the issues that she and I have is we haven't really connected with our hearts. We've connected with our mouths and our brains. And she's like, well, how do we overcome that? And I said, well, we need to shut up for one. We just need to hang out with each other and literally practice not talking, number one. But I told her, I said, this is a defense. It's a defense for me. It's a defense for you. for different reasons. I have my reasons, she has hers. And I've thought, and I haven't communicated this to her, but I thought about questions I could answer, and she's willing to play some games with me. And by games, I don't mean negatively, manipulation games. I mean, she's willing to kind of play the game of life with me and do some exercises with me, which is another reason I really like her, is because she's willing. She's into personal development and growth and willing to go through some things with me. So, one of the things that I'd like to kind of have a session with her is, get a pencil and paper or pen and paper and kind of put our fears down there. I mean, that's really what it is. What are you scared of? What are your fears? And if you can truly tap into that and be authentic with your fears, that's where you'll get why you have your coping mechanism, your defensive mechanism for me to talk. It's like, okay, well, I want to be, maybe it was because I got talked over when I was a kid. I got shut up when I was a kid. Nobody wanted to listen to me when I was a child. They talked over me. They told me to shut up. So talking is my way to control somebody not leaving me or dominating me. I can control the connection between me and another person. So maybe the fear is if I shut up, they're going to dominate me in some way. Something like that. I'm not saying that's the truth. That's just me spitballing right now while we're live. I'm just taking a shot at it. But it's something like that, where you spend time with it and you really ask yourself these tough questions, and that'll give you some answers to some of the why you have the coping mechanisms that you have.
Yes. So guys, Jeff is an amazing coach. He's a great speaker. I think you should follow him. Would you like to tell them how and where to find you?
Yes.
Instagram, all platforms.
Right now, you can find me on a hill in Lake County at Mandala Springs. That's where you can find me. And you can find Sudi. If you were here, we're out on some trail. Where you can find me is on, I have a coaching, my name is Jeff Musial, JEFFMUSIAL. It's like musical without the letter C. And I have Jeff Musial Coaching, which I'm connected to Sudi through Jeff Musial Coaching. And you can follow me there and connect with me, whatever you want to do. And soon I will be transferring some info over to YouTube, but that's not set up, so don't waste your time with that at the moment.
Okay, guys, so make sure you follow Jeff. He got a lot of great information to share with you guys. Also, I'm going to be doing my retreat, just looking around. Probably end of August or beginning of September, I'm going to be doing my retreat in the US, and then we'll go from there. Love you guys. Stay calm, be peaceful, and experience joy every second in your life. Bye-bye. See you guys later. Here's your wood. There you go.